Hi everybody, this is Big Mama. I have just finished doing my February challenge with Dear Julie Julie's group that's called Dear Julie Julie Junk Journal Every Day. And in her February challenge, she had us make a foundation journal. So this is just a basic journal that doesn't have a whole lot of frills to it. Of course, knowing me, there is a few there's frills, but I tried to rein myself in, and so I hope you'll be impressed that I did try. You can tell I tried. And so let me tell you a little bit about the challenge. She had us go to her little Etsy store, and we could get these digitals that have foundations for that you build your pages on. And so the two digitals that I picked were called the lace grunge backgrounds, and here's an example of what that looks like. And so see where this is called the postcard page, but she had us get side-by-side pages where these prints were bigger prints. And then also the other one I used was called the Botanical Basis page. And so here's an example where she had these dried plants and flowers, and so she had printed them out this big. And here's a page where she had laid them on, and so you could cut around those in what we call fussy cutting. She also has pages where they are the tags that are long like this that you could turn into journaling cards. And then she has them to where they're small like that. And I really love the miniatures like this because they're so versatile to use and just so many things. And so I hope that as I go through, you'll notice that those little tiny ones that I used, I'll try and point them out as I go through flip through my journal. She also had us pick 5 pages that were cardstock or scrapbook paper. And so after we were done making our journal, she had us do what's called a master board, where you take book pages, glue them together, and then you take the scraps that you have left over and put them on the page. And so here's an example of what it is where you just take and put the scraps across that paper, and then you're able to cut it up and turn it into cards. And she had us also do what we call a snippet roll. And so my napkin that I used, it had the birds in it, and so I got to use the scraps of my napkin on my snippet roll. And so you would go through and you would take off a piece like this and use it as a cluster on a page or something to really embellish and make it look oh so pretty. So that was some of the things that she had us do. She also said that we could pick one piece of material, pick some ribbon, and also some lace. And so the lace I picked has an edging on it like this, but then I took it apart so that I could use this part on some areas, and I could also use this, and then I wove my ribbon through it. I had some coffee dyed ribbon that was a seam binding type of ribbon that I used in my journal. So those are some of the things that I used for it, along with my papers. We were able to pick between 5 and 15 sheets of paper to add to it. So those included your napkin, your tissue paper, ledger paper, any of the specialty papers like that. And so I use those to build up the pages for my journal. And I love the old vintage papers, and so you'll know this is one of my journals because that's what I do. I love them to look timeless. And I had an old book that was a Dwight Eisenhower book, and it was already been gutted, so I just had the cover. And so that's what I used for my book. And so I added the digital here of Julie's and put some little embellishments here on it for the front, and then also some more of that lace, and then on the spine here. And so the book was a little bit beat up, and I like old beat up, so that's what I went for. I also thought that twine works really well with the botanical look, and so I'm using the twine on it. And there we go. Binder, twine, and band-aids. That's what holds our lives together. So let me go ahead and do some flip through here for you. In the opening of the book, this is some of the paper that I picked out for my 5 pieces of paper. Julie had us make a little book to give as a gift to someone, and so I thought, well, I'd put it in here and it'd be a gift along with the journal. And so it was simply that we were to make it like a miniature journal. And so it has the pockets, and we had our 5 pieces of paper, so they are all in here. And we have tags and places for people to journal in. So that, and I learned on my last video, just put this over to the side, go back through the video, and you'll be able to find where it belongs. So I'm not going to stress about it this time. So I used doily. We could use all the book pages we wanted. So I've got the book page. Tissue paper is what I like to use, tissue paper to protect things. And the doily I used not Wonder Under, Heat and Bond, to help put it onto the book page so that it would, because it was kind of brittle and I didn't want it to rip up. So please forgive me as I put this down and flip my pages. I hope that isn't too distracting for you. And so here's one of her pages of her digital, and I backed it on some coffee dyed paper, and we were to take and do paper that we dyed using like a doily or something to dye it. And so I did that, but my original base was going to be the pink grunge, and it did not go with the botanical the way I wanted it to. So I changed out and did the lace grunge background. But now I have my pink, and the pink did not look good. So once we did it, we were allowed to trade it out. And so this paper is paper that is from Sarita. And I got it right, I know, because I keep Sarita stuff separate now. So this is some of Sarita's paper, and I like it because you can still feel the texture too of this paper. So then I've got some ledger paper in here. And writing paper. And when in my last video I showed you that I like to take and just put the paper in, so I put 2 side by side. So this is the back, the overflow of another piece of paper, and I edged it and put a little botanical trim on here, and so that there are 2 pieces here to finish off, but I didn't want to throw it away. This is our accordion pocket, to where we use 2 envelopes, and with the you can see how it folds out like that. And so I just took and folded some paper to put in there so that you have some stationery to write on, and put her little digital up, the miniature up in the corner, so that it's easy to unfold and give you a little bit of pretty. And here is one on this one, so that you can write a little legacy letter for your family, your loved ones, special bow. And I made this paper clip, and you can see where I've used the digital on a button. I hand sewed the button in through the lace and the ribbon, and then I took the digital and put the glossy accent over the top of it. And so that's what I was holding the pocket in with. Then we were also to do a water embossing, and so I used the edge of a picture frame and did the water embossing on this linen stationery, and then went back over it with some ink. And I've got, I do hope you guys realize I am not a professional at this. Like I needed to tell you that. I am not a professional. Let the professionals do it. So ledger paper, and then I've got music paper. It was a really, really long piece and I didn't want to cut it. And so I did this to where you can write in there. Also using her digitals to grab a hold of that and pull her up. And this is the over the top tag. And so it just comes off the page and you can write in the inside of it with her digis. And that just stays on there. I put the ribbon on here basically to give it the weight to where it just stays on there so nice, except for now I'm kicking around with my fingers. And then she had us make in the center of a signature. She wanted us to take and do this where, you gotta give me some patience here, where this here folds and then you turn it into two pockets, and so then it can fold in half. And that's where the seam is at. And so the back side is a little bit taller than the front. These are what I did with my master board. I sewed it onto coffee dyed index cards, and that I got those from Susan Taylor Brown. And so those are my master board on there, and trimmed it out with the lace and ribbon and some more of the ribbon. And this actually came from Penny Pudge that I got this from. And when you go to those sales and Penny is selling that, don't buy it up from me because I'll be buying a lot. I love that. And she dyes it in so many different colors. It's just wonderful to use. So here's another one of the tags so that you can write in here. And some more ledger and the embossed paper. I'm going to turn this back up. And there's the other side of those pages. If I lay it down, it'll go faster. So she had us do a project where we fold the paper and it gives us a hidden journaling spot. So there's a spot here we could actually put a card, but we also have this journaling space right here. And then it just tucks right back in there. And if I wanted, I could fold this over one more time and stick down in there. But I really love the look of the triangle, and so I leave mine that way. And so this is the end of that signature. Come on. There we go. So, and then the material, she said we could use as much material. And I had this silk that had some botanical satin stitching on it, and so that's what I used to bind this into the signatures into the spine. Okay, so this one we were supposed to do up here in the top and the bottom, these diagonal tucks, and then I had some ephemera that I photocopied Western Union, where somebody got a misshipment of root beer. And so they were supposed to send it on. And so there's a receipt in there of where they sent it on to. So they were honest folk. They didn't keep that $12.50 barrel of root beer. And so I just put this on a piece of paper. I have a vintage roll of paper here, and so I just wrapped that around it. And then put one of her tags on it to hold that in place. And some more journaling space, journal, and some more of the paper. And what I did, I had so many scraps of my papers left, I just started laying them down and doing that as a trim, using up my scraps. And then this is part of her digital kit on the Botanical. And some more of Sarita's paper. and writing paper. And then this is my belly band, and there is a pocket here. And then also she wanted us to make a hidden journaling card. And so we've got where you can journal here, but then this comes out, and then I have a space where you can write a letter on here, and folds up, and then it's going to hide back inside of here. And so if you need a map of where you put that jar of pennies out in your yard and what tree you buried it, you could hide the map inside here and nobody will know it's there. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful botanical card that I can write on the back. And oh, what's this? A map. Wow. So that's pretty exciting, right? I'm going to look everywhere for that map now. I forgot where I put it. And so then we have, I again have the ledger paper, and I didn't want to cut the music paper. And so that's the reason why I added the ledger, but then there's also places here where you can write. But I really love the handwriting and the dates on here and the amount of money back there. It's just very special. And then we had to make our own envelope and have the flap as 2 tucks. So this is the flap of my envelope. And then I have my tags in here that I embellished this one with some of the dictionary page and napkin, and have her digitals on there. Excuse me. And so that's on this side of the page. Then we're going to the center of the signature, and then back on this side is my envelope side. But because it's close to this signature where it's sewn in, I turned it into a flap. Do you mind if I take a drink? Got a little bit of a tickle. We're drinking together. You can go grab your cup. Tea. For you Southerners, there's no sugar in my tea. Well, I don't know if I'm going to need to do a take 2 or if you guys are just going to have to wait for me to get my throat back. To my friend Arlene, I have a feeling I am now understanding what you mean when your voice is gone. I don't know what happened. So, must be some pollen in the air. Anyway, because this was tight, I decided, well, I still think it's pretty. I don't want to get rid of it. So I turned it into a belly bandish envelope and cut its bottom off and lined it with some tissue paper so it was pretty. And then I have my journaling card that can come in here also, but it can also go out there too. And so that's how I did that, because I had already sewed it into the signature, into the spine. I wasn't going to try and redo that. And so I'm like, ooh, we junk journals, we try to figure out, junk journalers, we try to figure out, now I made a mistake. How do I fix it to where everybody thinks I'm smart? And so I'm smart. I think you've seen me on several of these videos where I'm not that smart. But anyway, there we go. That's what I did. I done fixed it that way. Got me some tissue paper in there, make it all pretty, and you guys are like, all right. More of the music paper. I just did I cut this page because I want it to be different than the other ones. I'm not a matchy-matchy type of girl. Okay, so look at that. Sarita, she's amazing. No, wait, stop. Sorry, Julie. This Julie's digital. I'm not even going to apologize. You guys, if you're watching it and you've seen my other ones, I don't even have to explain myself, do I? That's just me. Okay, so we're going to keep looking. This is Sarita's. All right. This is Big Mama's. And there's some more of that. Some more of the ledger paper. Some more. So this is where you hide. This is a flip tuck. So I've got my tuck here, and then this flips down inside there. If I rip this paper, I'm just going to go, well, that's it. I'm done. It didn't rip, so you guys get to. So here we go. It flips down in there. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not taking my chances. And I had made this type of tape. This is not washi, Julie. This is not washi. I made my own tape. Where's my paper? I made my own tape. I took them alcohol inks and dropped it on there, and that wasn't during this challenge, so I can honestly say it says any tape. That's tape I made like 6 months ago, so I'm legit. I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat on the tape. And if you find where I cheated, then you call me out, but I won't tell you. Don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell. There you go. So, here we go. Some more of the papers, some of that. Okay, so here we're supposed to make double pocket page. And so I have my pocket where this one is like up here. And tag. I'll just throw it over there. But then I wanted this one open on the side. And got my little tag. And so we needed to have a tag with purpose, and so I got a little band on here and have my little paper that you can write on. That's down in there. Tag with purpose. I tell you, if I stop this and try to redo this, I'll be all shy and everything, so I'm just trudging on. So if my nose starts dripping, if I start choking, you guys are just going to have to put up with it. Or you can actually turn off the video and not watch it too. You don't have to put up with it. What am I saying? Sit there and watch. So here, this is Julie's Digitals also, and this is her foundation where it was the antique book pages, the end flaps, and just love that paper. Another pocket, and in here I did where I've got some scraps of paper for you to write on. That might have been part of the challenge. I can't remember. So I got some ledger paper. Oh, I know what this one is. This is I put my list over here so you guys wouldn't have to help me out as much about trying to figure out what it was. And it is a, I hate to say it. Okay, if any of you watched last month's and I couldn't remember what something was called, and it was a flip-flop with a flap. What are the chances that this is called a flip-flop with a flap? Yeah, I couldn't remember that again. Gary, I am not sending you another present. But there's my flip-flop. I can't believe I couldn't remember that. That's just downright stupid. And I can call myself that. Okay, so anyway, back to the embossed paper. Mercy child, you're a mess. And then she had us do, with the pages, where we folded them in half this way instead of up this way, and folded them in half and put the pockets on the side. And so here are some more of the tags that I made with using the scraps. This one is where you do a patchwork, and so I had the 5 pieces of paper, and you cut them to where it's a patchwork tag. And so then I also put a little dangle on it for my embellishment. And so I've got that on these. And then when you turn it, there's going to be 2 more when I get to them. I thought they were just right there. Guess not. I didn't put it in the center. Made pocket. And this little tag here to write on. My music paper, another pocket. And so what I did with this music paper is it was long, and so I brought up the bottom, but I cut it and then glued it on because I wanted all of the music to be going the right way. And so this was some of my ephemera that I have that had envelopes that had already been opened. They were empty envelopes. And so I just took some paper here so that you could journal and put it in the old envelope. And so here's another one, old envelope with the paper where you can do your own writing and put it in the antique envelopes. And the date on these envelopes, this one's 1941. Yeah, both of them are 1941. And so, and those are the actual envelopes, not copies. I think it's kind of cool to put some actual ephemera in there. I hope that you can't like enlarge and go to my nose because I have a feeling it's shiny right now. I keep doing like this so you won't see it. Now my hands will be shiny and you'll be zooming in on it. Okay, so we are actually to the end. There are a couple of more tags and the papers to journal on. A beautiful botanical. Some more journaling areas. And then when we get to the end, I always like to sign my books at the very end here in the back on the seam. And then this is some actual ephemera that I had that was a 1909 bank book. And so there were a couple of pages in the back that I just took those old rusted staples out and pulled it apart so that you've got this in here. So I put that in here for some ephemera and then another one of the cards. And that is my flip through of this beautiful botanical February Foundation junk journal. And so I hope that you enjoy it. I know that I was a little bit off my beam. Hope that it's not too distracting for you when I lose my words and lose my mind, and that maybe, you know, my kids will be able to use this in the future to get me into a nursing home. I don't know. But for right now, hopefully it'll just all be about the junk journaling and not about my mental well-being. You guys have a wonderful time watching this and leave me some comments. I love reading them and getting back to you. And you have a wonderful night. And I look forward to the March challenges. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.